Good morning, good morning. Good to be with you again. Share a couple ideas on building the business that might help. And one of those I want to talk about is I've in the past talked about recruiting up. When you think about recruiting, I know we usually think about someone that has the need, whether they're out of work or a relative that may have the need, and we've all been through that. So I thought the best illustration that I could come up with that I've used for a long time is using what some call a nesting doll or a Russian doll. And because I like to use this, a lot of us when we first get into business, we think of someone that's either out of work or they've got a need. And we all have, and we want to help everyone. And not that you shouldn't give them all a chance, but we want you to have in mind the best prospects are ones that you look at that if you would recruit up above your status or income level, and a lot of us think, well, they wouldn't think I'm qualified. What you're presenting, especially with a third party and with our tools, that presentation is made by someone that is making the kind of money that they'd like to have. For instance, if we look at the way when we talk to people and recruit and bring them into the business, actually, you're training them to do probably the way that you did it. And if that person is an unemployed person or in difficult circumstances financially, they're going to think, hey, this is the kind of people they should talk to. And what's going to happen is what happens with these kind of dolls is they might bring that person in the business, but he's going to be of smaller stature financially or successfully than even you are, but he thinks that's the way to build a business. So the people he's going to talk to, he's going to realize that, hey, he can get them in the business, get their interest, but each time that that person looks at the person lesser than what he is or has a need, you're starting to build a group, but each time it seems like the people are getting a little smaller stature-wise, and what continues to happen, and that person looks at it the same way, person he brings in the business, and the farther you go, the smaller that they get, and unfortunately, the smaller the checks get. It seems, hey, I've got the people, they just don't seem to be doing anything. Well, fortunately, if in somewhere along the line, maybe the last one, this little bitty person might be a lady, and a lot of them, they have intuition that's much better than our guys, so they think, hey, this doesn't look like a very smart way to build a business. Building a business gets smaller and smaller, the checks don't grow, and I get more frustrated. Let's turn that around. All the way around, this person says, look, I think we should be looking up to people that are more successful than you are, higher stature, more contacts, more credibility. And when you do that, then that person looks at it the same way. He'll look at people above him. Pretty soon, it's growing, but this time it's growing with bigger people, have more contacts, more credibility. And don't think that the person, just because they may be making more money than you are to start with our kind of tools and the third-party representation, you're going to have someone that is making that kind of money. And even though some older folks that are pretty well set, they have kids and grandkids, believe me, that have the need. So, after you look at that kind of a trend in our type of business, which would you rather have? The check that matches maybe a financial runt on this end, or if you look this way and recruit up, you've got a financial giant on this end with a giant check to match. Which would you prefer? Keep this picture in mind the next time you pass up someone that may be more successful and you hesitate just a little bit. Go back and rethink that, and think the best way to do this is recruit up. Unfortunately, a lot of you out there are doing that, and Bonnie and I are so grateful for you to continue the business that's been taking good care of us in our forced retirement, so to speak. Thanks again.